Welcome to Nonso FC, where we banter football, and today we are going to talk about, is Chelsea the most talented team in the EPL moving forward? What does Arsenal need to finally go over the hump and maybe beat Man City to become champions of the Premiership? And lastly, is Manchester United linked with everybody, but we are not doing anything this transfer window? We're going to talk about that in this video, but please, if you're new here, like, subscribe. It helps the channel, it helps me. Follow the Instagram page, follow the TikTok page. We're on every platform and I reply to basically everybody because this is football. This is football banter. We talk. Banter me, I'll banter you. Say what you need to say in the comment section and I'm going to reply you. But be respectful. That's all I ask. Be respectful, because just because you don't like what I say about your team does not mean you're going to lose your home training and start saying shit to me. Be respectful, because I will say shit back. Have you been a supporter of Nonso FC from Instagram and TikTok and you made your way here? I just want to say a big thank you. You guys are the real ones. And now let's get into the video. Leicester City player Dewsbury Hall just walked away from a seemingly concluded deal to Brighton because Chelsea called. I feel like we've seen this before. Same thing happened last offseason when Liverpool was almost sure they had gotten Caicedo. They basically almost announced him. Then all of a sudden, bro appeared in blue saying he's now a Chelsea player. If it happened once and there was no kind of consequence, it was definitely going to happen. And this is not the first time that Chelsea has done this. Chelsea actually did this with Mikel Obi too, when Sir Alex Ferguson was basically about to hand Mikel the contract. Mikel even took a picture with the Manchester United shirt, and then all of a sudden he became a Chelsea player. One thing about Chelsea is going to get the players that they want. They are going to have a stacked locker room. They are going to have a stacked team, which begs the question, is Chelsea the most talented team in the EPL? And honestly, I'll say yes. Apart from their defense that was atrocious last season, and Jackson that have said in the past that he's not a good enough striker, Chelsea is actually very talented from the top to the, especially in the midfield. They are stacked in the midfield. The problem is they do not know how to implement a lot of these players. And more dangerously, they have a very impulsive owner that does not want a coach to coach. He wants to put his own blueprint on the game and in the team. And honestly, he has no idea what he's doing. Chelsea just signed Barcelona youngster Mark Gui. Mark Gui. I don't Guiu. I don't know how it is pronounced, but I'll say Gui for now. And honestly, a part of me, as a Manchester United fan, is jealous at how quick Chelsea gets the players that they want. Chelsea they don't get linked to everybody like Manchester United, which is why I say is one of the things that the only thing I'm envious about Chelsea is that they want a player and they go after that player. So do I believe Chelsea is probably the most talented team in the EPL? On paper, yeah. And I said the same thing when I was making these videos on Instagram and TikTok. If you've not followed, please go follow those pages. I've publicly stated that Chelsea is probably one of the most talented teams in the EPL. Now, do I believe that they can win the EPL with this current crop of players? Not in the next 2 years, in my opinion. Not because they are not good enough, it's just because there are other teams that are right now currently better than Chelsea. But do they have a chance to lift the EPL in the next 4 to 5 years? Absolutely. If this current group of young players play together for the next 3 to 4 years, they could mature into something incredible. Honestly, because look at the latest buy from Barcelona, the Mark Gui. They have all these young phenomenal players like Chukwuemeka, Ugochukwu. They have Noni Madueke, which started to show what he could really do towards the end of last season. They just currently finished signing Omari Hodgson from Ipswich, another winger, because possibly the new coach is not ready to give Mudryk another year to improve or to get better. So on paper, Chelsea is on the right track. I would say the owner is one of the biggest problems of Chelsea, and I mean that, but I'm going to give him his due and his credit for completely figuring out the football business and shipping out a lot of players last season, because right now he has the money and the locker room space to buy more players. Now, I don't know if that is a good thing, because he is buying a lot of players again. I don't want it could eventually become the same situation where in the locker room there's just so many talents, so many people that the coach will not be able to. The coach will have the headache of picking the best 11 every game, and because of the sheer number of just people in the locker room, a lot of people will never get to play good football or get to have enough playing time. For example, I honestly believe Chukwuemeka would have done a lot more for Chelsea last season than Enzo Fernandez did. But again, you cannot replace £100 million player with someone like Chukwuemeka. You have to play the person. If you're going to buy a player for that amount, you are going to have to play the person. That's the same issue we had at Manchester United, where we brought on Anthony. Bro believed his own hype and started to play, you know, like I don't, what's the PG word for poo poo in this place? He played bad until when he started to sit on the bench and basically Garnacho took his spot. He started to actually play good football. There was no more of the leg overs, there was no more joking around or jonesing around. He became more direct towards the end of the season. If Enzo does not improve, if Enzo does not get better at controlling that midfield, Chelsea might need to put him on the bench. Because look towards the end of last season when Pochettino started to bench Enzo, Chelsea started to win again. Pochettino started to figure out that team. Pochettino started to give a solid game plan that made Chelsea look dangerous towards the end of last season. Now, do I support the firing of Pochettino? Absolutely not. I thought that was a bad decision by Chelsea. Now, do I believe that Pochettino is a winner? No, but do I believe that Pochettino knows how to groom young talent and lift them up? Absolutely, and that is what Chelsea needs right now. Chelsea and Chelsea fans screaming like they have a chance to win the EPL in the next 2 to 3 years. I'm sorry, that is not realistic. It is taken from a Manchester United fan. Right now, we are going through our Chelsea phase. It is not realistic. You cannot win the championship in the next 2 to 3 years, but you need a coach like Pochettino, or you needed a coach like Pochettino that was going to help develop your young talent. Look at Noni Madueke. Noni Madueke has basically became the kind of player I've always thought he's meant to be towards the end of the season last season because they're getting more playing time. Look at Kopama, which was bought under Pochettino. Bro was looking like a world-class player, almost won the Golden Boot. Those are the kind of players that do very, very well under Pochettino. And I believe that if Pochettino was given one more season, all the young players, all this young talent that is coming into the team will elevate. They'll get better. Even Caicedo played a lot better after Enzo went to the bench because Pochettino put Enzo on the bench. My point is, Chelsea has everything. They have everything to succeed. They have everything to be a very, very good club. And in the next 4 to 5 years, they could possibly be the most talented team, the best team in the EPL. But right now, you can buy all the wonder boys, all the golden boys you want. But if you do not have a system to develop those kids into world-class players, Chelsea will remain in the same limbo, will remain in the middle of the pack that they've been for the past 2 seasons until God knows when. Arsenal is suspiciously quiet this offseason in terms of bringing on new players that is going to help them challenge for the title next season. And let's be honest, Arsenal was very, very close this year, in my opinion, more than last year to actually win the title. I have a point. Last year, Arsenal was at the top of the table for about 90% of the season and they bottled it. But this year, they actually played calm and played consistent. They even got to the top of the table. Obviously, they bottled it, but that is just Arsenal. My point is, Arsenal did a lot better, in my opinion, this year, better than last year. They dropped crucial points this year, which everybody does, if we are being honest. But they don't know. They always drop points at the wrong time, at a crucial time. They always drop points, which is why they've not been able to do anything the past 2 seasons. Now, in terms of transfers, Arsenal has been linked to just 2 players this offseason. Number one, the first person is Joan Garcia, a midfielder. And that made me scratch my head at first. But I see why Arsenal will need another midfielder. Because if we are being completely honest, unless Arsenal wants to convert Rice to move a lot forward, a lot more, I feel like Rice is in his absolute element when he's sitting back behind attacking midfielders like Odegaard and who played besides Odegaard all last season. Sometimes it was Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz would play false nine and play with Odegaard in the middle. Towards the end of the season, Arsenal started pairing Rice with Partey and then Odegaard in the middle. Now I will see why you need a midfielder, someone that can actually kind of be the in between Odegaard and Rice. Now, that is not where, in my opinion, Arsenal needed to improve from last season, or even the season before. I felt Arsenal needed a true goal scorer. Arsenal needed an actual nine. I said this in the middle of the season when I made these videos for Instagram and TikTok. I said Kai Havertz is not an upgrade on anything that Arsenal needs. I don't understand why Arsenal would spend that amount of money on Kai Havertz. But however, Kai Havertz was bound to score goals because anybody, any decent player would score goals in Arsenal. And this is my point. If you look at the last two seasons and last season, Arsenal successfully spreads the goals around the players, whether it's Trossard getting involved, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard. They all tend to score about 10 to 15 goals each between them. So there isn't one point man that will score 20 to 25 goals. But in my opinion, that is what Arsenal needs to be able to go over that hump, to be able to beat Man City to win the league. And getting a midfielder now is not what you need. Going for a midfielder first is not what Arsenal needs. I know Arsenal has been linked to Nico Williams, but Nico Williams has come out and said he's very, very comfortable where he is. He doesn't want to come to the Prem. And I completely get that. However, it could just be that he's saying it so he does. He's not on the bad side of his club. Nico Williams, in my opinion, would have been very, very good for Arsenal. But now the big fish is there. Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, Conte has publicly stated that he does not want Victor Osimhen. He wants to keep Vicha Varaskelia, and that is fine. We don't care. We don't like you, Conte. We don't give a. We don't like you too, Conte. We don't. That's fine. Victor will flourish anywhere. But Victor is being linked to Real Madrid. He's being linked to Arsenal. He's being linked to Chelsea. I'm even surprised he's not being linked to Manchester United because we know how to link with everybody. But my point is, if Arsenal can get someone like Victor that just needs to finish, you don't need to hold the ball, link any kind of play. Basically, he will be like a Haaland for Arsenal. Every other person will link the ball and just give it to the poacher and let him score. Someone that can give you a consistent 15 to 20 goals a season. I'm not even talking about 25. I'm not talking about 30. I'm not talking about going for the golden boot. I'm just talking about a consistent goal scorer that isn't Kai Havertz. Arsenal would very, very well have a higher chance of winning the Prem next season. But no, Arsenal is being linked to a midfielder and, wouldn't you know, a goalkeeper because, like I said and I predicted last season, Ramsey was going to leave. There was no way Ramsey was going to stay on the bench for David Raya, and it's happening. So will Arsenal poach Victor Osimhen from Napoli for a very, very good price because nobody is going to pay 100 million for Osimhen? Absolutely. Do I believe that that's a good buy for Arsenal? Absolutely. Do I believe Arsenal can still spend a little less but get a good, serviceable top nine? Absolutely. Look at Joselu for Real Madrid. Bro will cost Real Madrid just 1.5 million and he basically handed them the Champions League. That is what I'm saying about getting a serviceable striker that doesn't have to do a whole lot. Every other person will walk the ball, but that striker has good positioning, good finishing, and good temperament in the box. That is what Arsenal needs. Arsenal does not need another midfield first. They need a striker first, one or two, and then you can work on your midfield. But I'm pretty sure Arteta is a very smart coach. Arteta is going to figure it out. I am not confident in my own team to figure it out, but I'm very confident in Arteta to at least figure that out. Manchester United is being linked to everybody and their grandmothers this transfer window, and it is again the most infuriating thing for a Manchester United fan because let me be honest, we have never done anything, or we haven't done anything of note in the past few seasons. Do I love our transfer windows the past few seasons? Not really. Do I like some of the players we got? Absolutely. Martinez has been glorious for Manchester United. It's because of Martinez we saved our season last year by winning the FA Cup. Do I love Hoylund? Absolutely. That guy is talented as hell. He is a wonderful striker. I'm not talking about his goals, just look at his positioning. Even his goals, honestly, break it down. Hoylund scored 16 goals last season. 8 of those goals were solo efforts. That should tell you something. My point is, do I like some of the people we are being linked to this off season? I see what we're trying to do. We definitely need defenders because throughout last season we didn't play consistently with the same backline. Almost didn't play with the same backline for 2 games, 2 consecutive games. Someone was always injured, someone was always out. The only consistent person or people were Darlow and Maguire, and even sometimes Maguire was always in and out of the lineup. And Maguire actually picked up a lot last season, which blew my mind because I was one of the people campaigning for Maguire to leave. Do I still want Maguire to leave? I'm torn. But if you can get a better option that will start in front of Maguire, I'm okay with Maguire coming off the bench. I'm okay with Maguire being on the bench. He's going to be a solid backup for us. Do I want him to start for Manchester United next season? Absolutely not. Do I want us to sell Maguire? I don't think we are going to get the same value back. I mean, we basically got him for about 80 million. So if we are going to sell Maguire now, we are looking at 20, which is going to be a terrible sale. So do I think he should be around for as a backup? Absolutely, because like I said, last season we had so many injuries, and if we had someone else on the bench like a Maguire, I'll be good with that. I think Lindelof is gone. I'm not. Yeah, I think Lindelof is gone. Varane as well. And honestly, shout out to those guys. I miss Varane because I actually liked Varane from Real Madrid. I feel like he wasn't comfortable in the Ten Hag system. He wasn't comfortable in Manchester United, and I'm completely fine with that. I wish him luck wherever he ends up. But now, let's come back to the people that we are linked to. We are linked to 2 defenders that I'm okay with. Braithwaite from Everton and Todibo from Nice. Todibo from Nice, the deal was asked because Ineos owns Nice and they own part of Manchester United, and that is a problem. That is going to be a serious conflict of interest. That is why Manchester United have hired lawyers to try to fight and beat the case. If we do that, we are going to get Todibo, and honestly, I'm okay with that. Todibo is solid. Now, Braithwaite, for the price that Everton is asking for that guy, I do not believe he's worth it. I do not believe he's worth 80 million, 70 million. It's absurd to me. Is he athletic? Yes. Is he a very fast centre back? Absolutely. Is he strong? Is he big? Yes. It's everything that Maguire is not. But look at this is some of the places where I have my hesitation. We've been talking about going away from how things used to be in the team, where we overpay for a player, and then overpay the player. We're about to do the same thing with Brentwaite because he's a UK kid. I don't please. It's okay. We do not need to do that with him. Honestly, we do not. And this is my honest opinion. The kid Kambuala that came on and played in the place of Maguire and sometimes Johnny Evans, in my opinion, he did very well. Yes, he was very young, he's very green behind the ears, but he was very, very good in certain spots. He was really, really good. He was very aggressive. He played very well and he's good with the ball at his feet. Does he need to sharpen his defensive instinct? Yes, because not everybody's Kobe Mino. Kobe Mino is once in a generation type of talent where they already have the instinct just stepping on the pitch. But I believe that Willie Kambuala can be a solid centre back for Manchester United this coming season. And I'd rather we invest in his development than going to pay 70 million for Brentwaite. That is my honest to God opinion. Now, if you can get Braithwaite for about 40 million, absolutely go get him. He's a lefty that likes to play on the left, the same place that Martinez likes to play. And because Martinez had a lot of injuries last season, we would have loved someone there that plays with his left, that's good with the ball on his feet. So that's another problem with him coming onto the team at this moment. If he comes on, is he going to be a lefty playing with another lefty in the as the centre back positions, or are they getting him in the hope that if Martinez is not around, then we have Braithwaite, or if Braithwaite is not around, then we have Martinez? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That is where I'm trying to think. Okay, what is the plan here? Because the statistics have shown that he actually plays very well with his right leg. That's Braithwaite. But we are all humans. We all have the same instinct. We'd rather kick with our dominant foot than with our weak foot. So even if you put him on the right side, he'll most likely move left when he needs to run or when he needs to evade, and that might get him in trouble in certain situations. So now my thing is, I have no problem with Braithwaite if he's affordable. I have no problem with him being a Manchester United player. I would not want us to get him for that amount for 70 million. Todibo will be a very, very good centre back for Manchester United. But I truly hope that we look at last season and see that our youth saved us. Kobe Mino, Garnacho, Hoyland, and now Willie Kambwala. Willie Kambwala should be worked on. He should be invest these if you invest in his development, and I honestly believe in 2 years. It's because, let's be honest, we are not going to win the title next season. So why not get our players up? Why not increase or elevate our players' development, and then you can start fighting for the title in a year or two. But next season, just let Willie play all the games next season. Let's see if there's something there, because I really believe there's something there. I really believe there's something. We have something with Willie Kambwala. I believe Hoyland has the potential to put up 15 to 20 goals every season for Manchester United. I'm speaking conservatively. I honestly believe he has the potential to put up 15 to 20 goals in the Prem, not in all competitions, in just the Premier League. We need someone that will play behind Hoyland. And if that is the role Xerxes is coming into play, I'm completely fine with that, because we actually need one more striker. We need somebody that will play when Hoyland is not available, because Rashford is not going to do that. Rashford does not like to play in the middle, which is crazy to me, because he has the pace to beat almost all centre backs in the Prem, and that will be an easy goal. That'll be easy goals for him. But the moment he gets hit once, he starts to cry and wants to move to the left. If you ask me, I believe that we need to move on from Rashford, but I still love Rashford's talent. I still believe he'll want to wake up next season. But if after, like, let's just give him 5 games. If Rashford does not do anything after 5 games, let's get him the F out of here. That is my opinion. If you're a Manchester United fan and you love Rashford and you want him to stay, that's fine too. You can always banter me in the comment section. I'm good with that. But I believe he deserves at least 15 games. If he's not good, then we can get him out in January, bring on someone, maybe bring back Greenwood, which is a stretch. That might never ever happen. But there's a higher chance of that happening than Rashford just start scoring 30 goals a season like he did 2 seasons ago. So, but what do you guys think? Do you think Rashford actually has it in him to score 30 goals again? Do you think he can regain the form that he had 2 seasons ago? Let me know in the comment section.